back here with Anushka from Balance Psychologies. And I'm so happy to be here with her. We're talking about, in this occasion, we're talking about families and children and co-parenting with narcissistic people. But let me tell you that her social media and everything, her channel and her website, everything will be down below.
Thank you.
And yeah, and so, and the other videos that we filmed. So yeah. So I wanted to ask her what is, I don't know, good things, what good advice that you could give us if for people that are dealing with narcissistically abusive people, and those are the parents of our kids. So what can we do? And yeah.
This is quite a difficult actual subject matter, isn't it? Because what do you do? Because you want, obviously you want the best for your child, you want the best outcome for your child, and you want to do the best by them. But you know, like I said before, the best thing that you can do is show your children unconditional positive regard. So that means that you give your children their own independence, their own sense of self, and having understanding them, giving them the kind of voice or the space to be able to talk about their experience with their parents or experiences.
Right. Because showing them that they have the right to say no, and they have the right to say, yes, I want this. You know, to be
absolutely,
heard.
Absolutely. And I know that it's always there's always like a concern where you're thinking, oh, if my child goes over to the other parent, what happens if they say bad things about me? What happens if they put me down and try and turn the child against me?
Right,
and of course that will happen. It will, it's a given, they will use the children against you. But you've got to understand is that you're not operating from an ego sense. You're not operating ego to ego. So you've got to understand that the child is always going to go by how that person makes them feel. Even though the child's not going to understand it, be able to articulate it, they will be able to feel it. So if you're the parent who is nurturing them, who is loving them, giving them everything, that child is naturally going to be drawn to you. It's the same as if you've got family pets as well. You'll know that the family pet is going to be drawn to that person that gives it so much love, its shelter, give it nurturing, and it all works on that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If all of those needs are met, then that person is going to be naturally drawn to you. So it works the same as whether it's your child or your pet or whoever it is, the child will want to be around you more. Now think about it, if the child is then going to the narcissistic parent, how is that narcissistic parent going to be making them feel? Well, they'll be putting the other parent down. And you know yourself, like if your mother or your father was putting your mother or father down, your natural response is to protect them, right? You are always going to want to protect them because it's just a natural instinct. And so that's how your child is going to feel, like they have to protect the other parent, like they have to, you know, wanting to help them in some way. And that doesn't make you feel good.
No.
Having to protect your that doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel anxious, it makes you feel angry, irritated. And those are the feelings that your child is going to be coming home with, is feeling angry, upset, anxious. So can you see what I mean? It's like how you make them feel versus how the narcissistic parent makes them feel. And so that's what you've got to remember. You've got to teach them about self-love. You've got to teach them to develop the confidence. You've also got to help them develop boundaries as well.
Yes.
This is a really important aspect, but boundaries is quite a sticky subject matter because there's so much in it, having you know, developing boundaries.
It's easy to say, but it's, you know.
Yeah, what does it actually really mean? What does having boundaries actually mean?
It's difficult. Yeah.
It is.
Because it doesn't feel good to put a boundary. It feels like
it's true, it feels weird.
And
actually,
even more so if it's the parent that you have to put a boundary to a parent.
Yes,
or,
absolutely.
Or even, you know, stand up to what you feel.
That's so true. Of course. How do you do
hard.
that?
Yeah.
But remember, with narcissistic parents, they're not going to have that. They're you know, they don't have boundaries. That's why everything's so enmeshed and so dysfunctional, and that's where part of that disorder is all about. It's the dysfunction of boundaries, because a narcissistic parent won't allow their child to have their own autonomy, and they feel that what they're saying, the child has to conform to what the narcissistic parent wants.
Right.
So ultimately, boundaries is quite simple, but it's very hard to kind of initiate. So with boundaries, it's about what is it that you want? What is it that you're willing to accept? What don't you want to accept? And until you know the answer to that, that's when you can actually develop boundaries. Because if you know what it is that you want, when your child knows that doesn't feel right, maybe if I say that to mum and dad, or mum or dad, whoever's the narcissistic parent, like, that doesn't feel too good to me, like, you know, that's when you know. And ultimately, it's a question of,
it comes down to what you feel.
Sure.
How, to knowing how you feel, what you want. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's exactly
easier said than done, right? It's something that takes practice.
It is. And all I'm going to say is stick with it. Don't not do that. I mean, ultimately, the parent, you are the role model. You have to show your child that, and your child will learn from you.
So that's why we need to be good and know what we want, so that they can
absolutely,
do that.
so that you can show your child that is the right way to be. Absolutely, because that really does help in terms of showing a child to grow up in a healthy way. A child doesn't inherit narcissism or a personality disorder. Is not a genetic inheritance. It is something it's a behavioral thing, isn't it? You learn by behavior, by the way that the person acts, by the way the person behaves. It's about adjusting those behaviors, and so that kind of makes it a little bit easier, because you know that your child is not going to grow up narcissistic because genetically they are like that. No, it's they've learned that behavior, and behaviors you can change.
Sometimes,
genetics you can't.
Right. And sometimes we get worried about they come home with certain behaviors that they're copying things and all that. And that's when we need to stay strong.
Don't tell them off. I was going to say, don't tell them off, because they don't actually know. They're just taking example from their parent, and I know that
it's even worse.
And that makes them feel even more anxious.
Yeah.
And you don't want them to feel the anxiety. So it's about gently, with kindness, with nurture, with love, just coaxing them into a difference. Maybe even talking with them, communicating with them how they're feeling. That's really, really important as well. That's something that I would suggest that you do, is talk to them. If they're exhibiting narcissistic behaviors, maybe talk to them about it and suggest other ways that they could possibly manage or handle a situation.
Yes. That's why it's so important that we, the parent, need to do this self-care, take care of you, get better, go to therapy, all this, so that you are healthy enough to teach by example and to be able to guide your kids. Right? Yes,
it's so important, so important, and vital.
Yeah.
But what both me and Alina want to say is that you've got this. You can do this. You know what? It is going to be tough, and we totally understand that it is tough, and nobody says that parenting is going to be easy, and especially with a narcissistic parent. But you know what? If you learn to trust yourself and you learn to trust your own instincts, you know what? You've got this. You can do this.
Yes.
It is going to be trying, but there will be those moments where it does shine through, and you are going to overcome all of this.
And by doing this,
absolutely,
you get stronger and stronger, and
it helps in your own healing as well. It helps in your own, and it builds up your own sense of self and your own autonomy. And you know what? You are, you're showing this to your children, that this is how you've got over. This is what happens. And so, what greater or what better lesson than them learning from you?
Yes, you have to do this. Get well, be healthy, and all that. So it's so important. And I think we need to end the video here, because I love what you said right there. And so yes, I want to thank you but you know,
You
from
are
the bottom of my heart,
so welcome.
You're
Absolutely.
lovely. She's exactly like you're seeing here, right here. She's lovely, and yeah, she was so kind to, you know, put up with me and filming
Put up
here.
with anything.
No,
She
no.
was wonderful.
Okay, yeah. Well, so yeah,
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me on your channel. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It's been a
Bye.
pleasure. It's been absolutely amazing meeting you, Alina.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. See you
Bye bye.
soon.
Thank you.